Why Tanmay approached you? He wanted to work with you.
So Tanmay basically approached me because
On an average, if we talk about the earning part, right, as a creator, what is the potential?
I think you can make more money than the software engineers easily. 2-3 lakh you can make from sponsors.
Like you change just one thumbnail and the video hit 1 million.
Yeah.
How?
There's a nice house in the thumbnail. There's a car, there is a couple, there is a cinematographer. The couple is so rich, they are not going to have kids. It goes against the Indian mindset, right? That really sparked a lot of controversy. And the title was?
Welcome to the first episode. Today we are having Azzy, who made me quit CA and brought me to YouTube. He has been in YouTube space since last 6 years and has grown multiple YouTube channels. So today we are discussing with him how you can grow as a YouTube creator.
Thanks, dear. Thanks for inviting me.
How a person who don't know anything about YouTube can start YouTube.
I would say just go consume content in your niche where you want to create. You see what are the popular videos in your niche, who are the popular creator in your niche, what they are doing great, replicate that, in that add one angle to it, that find a new format or something novel to it. I will say one more thing, that the most expensive real estate for YouTube is their homepage. Because when you go youtube.com, you see multiple thumbnail titles. And if your video is shown there and people are not clicking on it, then forget YouTube. You are never going to get any traction on YouTube. So first thing you have to understand is the audience is going to read your thumbnail and title. So focus mostly on that, because the audience is coming, seeing all the, probably let's say they are on their phone, they are seeing 2-3 thumbnails, 5 thumbnails, and then they decide to watch one video. On their laptop, they are seeing 10 thumbnails, and then they are deciding which video to watch. So first thing is focus on thumbnail and title of the video, because the audience is going to see that first and decide that they are going to watch it. Once you get their click, this is called CTR, click-through rate on YouTube. Now they click on it. Let's say out of 100 people, 10 people clicked on your thumbnail. Your CTR is 10%, which is quite good for YouTube if you get 10 people to click on your video. The second thing that comes is now the audience wants validation that I have clicked on the right video. So now they will see the intro. So make sure that the first 30 seconds, 1 minute of your video is related to, first of all, the thumbnail and title, and also has the hook required for them to stay for the rest of the video. So first validate whatever your thumbnail title was, and then go ahead, make something interesting, have something interesting in the first 1 minute itself. People call it nowadays highlight, which is highlight of the whole 20 minute in a 1 minute trailer sort of, which you show in the first 1 minute. Now they know what is coming in the next 15-20 minutes I'm going to spend on YouTube. If they wish to drop off there, you don't want them to drop off, but if they want to drop off, most of the people drop off in the first 1 minute. If you retain them more than 1 minute, there's a very high chance out of which 15-20% only goes if you have your retention right. So hooking them in the first 1 minute is really important. You can show them how the retention graph is, like the first 1 minute, 50%, 60% people go, and then others are staying. In detail about retention, I think Jikar will have to bring a course for that. I think it's really complicated to make people understand how the whole retention works. But just understand thumbnail, title, intro. Perfect this, rest of the things will become easier for you. Yeah.
How to find 1 million video ideas?
I'll explain you in the most basic way that you will understand, is to understand TAM. If you want 1 million on your video, you have to understand how big the market is.
What is TAM?
Which is total addressable market. If you understand TAM, then you can figure out what's the potential of the video. So have the biggest common denominator. You understand common numerator, denominator. Have the most common denominator that you can have. Then you will hit the biggest TAM. For example, me, you, Sharon, his friend, we all can talk about money. That is common between us. Probably religion is also common between us. Politics also has a bigger TAM among a niche. Let's say talking about horror stories has a bigger TAM. You'll see beer biceps using these things, right? Now I'll take an example of a video which has the most views on current Wint YouTube channel, which is IS versus CEO. We know that versus series works. So basically our premise was that we want two people, government and private, to talk about money. How is it different? But then we wanted to make it extreme. So top government job, what is that? IAS. Top private job, what is that? CEO. We made that as the panel. 2 CEOs, 2 IAS folks, thumbnail and title, IAS versus CEO. Now the whole government TAM you are hitting. Who wants to do government? All the private job employees are also, even though not interested that much in becoming a CEO, but they are interested in the fact what conversation would a IAS and CEO have. So you are hitting a very big TAM. That's why I don't know. It is at more than 2 million views right now.
Yeah. How did you start your YouTube career?
I'm a bachelor's in computer application basically. I came to Bangalore in 2016 and I had asked my dad that give me 1 year to do something of my own. If I'm not able to, I'll join a normal job. So it was almost a year. I was trying to do something of my own, everything failed. But I learned marketing. Then I took an internship. So my first internship was at Grow when they had 30 employees. They saw that he has some understanding of community and they saw the hustle. So one day Lalit came to me. He's like, why don't we start YouTube? I also didn't had any idea about YouTube. So this is 2018 September. So I learned everything from scratch. So I had a DSLR, but I was not using it. So I brought my DSLR, my tripod in the office, and we were shooting in my camera in the beginning at Grow. That's how Grow's channel started. So I just replicated whoever was doing the best in finance. Back then, there were no competitors as such on YouTube for finance content. So I just copied what was working for others, copied it for Grow. It worked. So basically, I would say Grow whatever content I did from there, almost 2,000-3,000 subscriber to almost 67K was the number when I left. So I shifted to a startup called Jupiter. And back then, Jupiter had onboarded an agency where currently all the biggest ad that are made in India were the scriptwriter for YouTube videos. These were Devaya, Vishal Dayama. So back then, I didn't know how big of a deal these guys are. These are ex-AIB writers. And I used to tell them, the script is too funny. We can't do that much funny in finance content. Remove half of the jokes. This is the feedback I would give them who are making the best YouTube videos on AIB and making the best ads in India, like cred ads. After that, I took a break for a year where I was working with startups like Wint, freelancing them. So I saw Ajinkya, Abhek, all these guys were really great to work with. And I thought culture is also looks fine when I was freelancing with them. I wanted to join somewhere where I can be more dedicated and work on one channel and grow it. So then I joined Wint. Almost 1.5 years of like dedicated effort, and I think when I left 350 subscribers.
And why did you like YouTube, doing YouTube?
So basically I'll say I didn't choose YouTube. YouTube came to me and then I fell in love. Bro, this is the best job. I consume YouTube the whole day. In the office also now I can consume more content. That's a win-win situation.
So first YouTube came to you and then YouTube and you came to me, right?
Yes, me and YouTube came to you to pitch you that leave CA and get into YouTube. Better future, more money.
True. So now people who are watching this have understood how to find a good idea. Once I have an idea, how I understand my audience in a better way?
Oh, how to understand audience in a better way. Okay. So I'll tell you, we did a beautiful exercise. Back then, I didn't know how much helpful it would be. But we did 100 calls with Wint users. And after having a conversation with them, we understood a lot about the audience, that what they are looking for, what problems do they have. So understanding your audience, I think either you are the audience yourself or you will have to talk to the audience to understand the audience. At least in the beginning, you need to understand them to create content that caters to them. And then you, after doing 10-15 videos, you will get more understanding about what they are not saying, but the YouTube retention graph or YouTube CTR metrics, thumbnail title iteration shows you that, okay, they are liking this versus that, this versus that. Then you have better understanding of the audience. Let's take an example of Wint. We saw that podcasts are working, but we knew that the audience that we are targeting, which is 30 plus, they consume very less YouTube content. They have very limited time, family people. We made sure that at Wint we were starting to, in the beginning, making 15-minute videos instead of 1 hour video. We'll record for 1.5 hours, but we'll make it into a 15-minute, very crisp, all information dense content. So that really worked for us. Second was, this is not my theory, this is Ajinkya's theory. He told me that why don't we do taboo topics? Let's say you are talking about money publicly, your portfolio publicly. Usually people don't talk about their salaries publicly. So we tried to cast guests in our podcast who would openly talk about these things. Talk about how much their salary is, how much their net worth is, how much is their house worth. So now we have a packaging for the video, always. Like a good packaging which would make you click. Like, let's say I say my house is 8 crore. You'll be like, okay, I want to see this 8 crore house. And people usually don't tell how much is their house worth. So we had, first of all, thumbnail and title sorted because we shortlisted our guest very intensely. Second was, they would talk about money now in the video, in the beginning intro itself, that hey, I have this much net worth. So now you are hooked as an audience that hey, someone is talking about money openly. And then we'll go ahead with whatever story we have to tell. So people saw something new in the whole finance space that nobody else is doing.
How to make thumbnail or title that people clicks on?
Have the thumbnail as clean as possible. If you think you will add a lot of things, it will be more attention grabbing. No. Just think of your behavior when you are scrolling on YouTube. In 1 second, you decide if you want to click on the video or not. So always make sure it is as easy as possible to understand what you are trying to say in your video.
What is more important, thumbnail or title?
I would say both are very important because of the new feature that has come where there is auto play that happens on YouTube, because of which the thumbnail goes in 1 second. Thumbnail, if you'll see in terms of real estate, it covers the most real estate. But if you'll talk about phone in autoplay, then it goes away in 1 second, then title becomes so important. You can't do a shitty thumbnail and do a good title. You have to make both really good.
Now I understood how to make a thumbnail, how to make a title, how to find idea. But how do I make people retain in the video? If they click on the video, how do I make sure that they stay and watch till end?
If you are doing YouTube for the first time, make a smaller video, 7, 8, 10 minutes. Don't go for a podcast format. Very difficult. A person to invest 1 hour on a new podcast, very difficult. But if you do thumbnail, title, intro right, they can watch probably a 7, 8 minute video. No, anyone new can watch and commit that much time to it. But if you are doing a 1 hour podcast, difficult to crack that niche. So slowly start creating longer video, but start with 8, 10 minutes, then go to 15 minute, 20 minute and so on. Mr. Beast has the best storytelling possible where he will try to give you a payoff at the end. And already he is hooking you throughout. $1 yacht versus $1 boat versus $1 billion yacht. Now in that, you want to see the $1 billion yacht. But in between also he is showing you such nice yachts, then you are hooked, that you want to see a $50 million yacht also, $250 million yacht also, half a $1 billion yacht also. So first of all, you are waiting for the payoff. So he makes you wait for it so that you stay at the end. So basically you are staying for the end result. And he's also hooking you throughout with special pieces. It's not that you are just waiting for the end. The mid part is also interesting throughout. So that's one type of storytelling. And let's say for Wint Wealth, we would do our hook would be very strong. We would have the most interesting information in the first 5 minutes, and then slowly we'll try to mix interesting versus boring. But we'll make sure people, if they are invested for 5 minutes, they'll be like, okay, let me watch another 5 minutes. What's the big deal? So it's easier that way, that if you have very strong material, then we try to push it more towards the first 5 minutes, and then slowly we phase it out.
I remember when I was interning at Wint, then we were talking about that thumbnail. Like you change just one thumbnail and the video hit 1 million.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know what was the thumbnail that we had, but it was not performing. So for almost a month, this video is not performing. So one day I changed the thumbnail. I was like, I'll make it wide perspective where it looks like some scene is being shot and the cinematographer is also visible in that. You saw Sharon was in the thumbnail. You are now curious that what's happening, like looks like a nice house. There's a nice house in the thumbnail. There's a car, there is a couple, there is a cinematographer. So you are curious, what's this about? And the title was, How Did You Get Rich? And the background looked like they were rich because 2 cars were there, a big house was there. So I think that really hit home. And the other thing why the video had higher retention was the couple was a dink couple. Dink means double income, no kids. People were really off about this fact that the couple is so rich, they are not going to have kids. I don't know why they are earning so much money. Why are they so selfish? It goes against the Indian mindset, right? Why will you have so much income but no kids? That really sparked a lot of controversy in the comment section as well.
I think video also worked because it was more leaning towards your philosophy also of Dink.
Let's not get into it.
Don't you think having a wife, having the children will help you grow YouTube channel? Because you'll understand the perspective of a general Indian family.
I think I'll get perspective from other people and not make the mistake myself. Why to make your own mistake which can't be corrected?
On an average, if you talk about the earning part, right, as a creator, what is the potential?
Better than any tech job. Like if you are spending 1 year to learn coding, if you spend 1 year to learn about content, I think you can make more money than the software engineers easily. What's the average package of engineers in Bangalore right now? Easily they start from 15, 20, 25. So easily you can make 2 lakh a month if you'll focus 1 year on just content. I would not recommend it if you don't understand anything. But if you are really passionate about it, have some understanding of content and get into it dedicated for 1 year, I think you can make the similar kind of money in the beginning itself.
So let's say some creator who is having 100k followers. So how much would brands be ready to pay to him?
It depends on the niche. It's very subjective. If let's say you have 100k on YouTube in a particular niche, it can make you 5x more money than if you are in a niche where you can't monetize it that well. A finance niche who is doing really well, because your CPM is also high for a finance channel. So YouTube will pay around 1 lakh for 1 million views. So you are getting 1 lakh from there. Let's say you are getting 1 million views as a 100k subscriber in a month. Another probably 2-3 lakh you can make from sponsors.
With that being said, like how much do you make? And when you left Wint, what was the salary?
Cash was 45 lakh per annum, and ESOPs was, let me just give a ballpark number, above 50 lakh.
Then why did you leave Wint?
Oh,
Like we were wanting to you stay.
I know. So almost 3 months before I left Wint, my friend was at a party and there Tanmay Bhat had come, and Tanmay Bhat asked for my number from him, that can you give me the person's number who is running Wint channel. Then from another friend, I'm hearing that Tanmay was asking about me, that who is running Wint channel.
Why Tanmay approached you? He wanted to work with you.
So Tanmay basically approached me because a lot of brands would also approach him to run YouTube channels. But you know how busy the guy is. He knows how to build YouTube channels for different brands. So I just jumped for that opportunity.
So what are you doing currently?
It's basically solopreneurship, where I myself build YouTube channels for brands. That's what I am helping brands to grow on YouTube. So Homelane is one, which is an interior space. Finance with Sharon is one, biggest finance influencer.
So you're currently working with Finance with Sharon also.
Finance with Sharon and 1% Club, his company, both.
Okay.
Allen Digital is one. They are getting into digital space like an academy. So I am helping them to build channels so that they can compete with something like an academy and Physics Wala. There's one more brand called Uni in fintech space.
So currently you are the YouTube consultant of the India's fintech space, right?
Fintech space for sure. There are other clients as well, which you will get to know soon.
And now what are you earning as a freelancer?
Right now I can't reveal.
You asked a lot of rapid fire questions when you were in Wint, right? To the guest. So now it's your turn.
Sure.
Favorite non-Indian creator?
Casey Neistat. Learned a lot of storytelling from him.
Indian creator you respect the most?
I think Tanmay Bhat, because he has been relevant for so many years.
Or maybe because you are working with
That can also be a reason.
creators you don't like?
I think people who use the audience and breaks their trust.
Any example?
Can't take examples.
What is your priority, money or fame?
Money, not fame.
Behind the scenes or on camera?
Behind the scenes.